We could talk about all the fun we want to have in the world with our families and vacations and wonderful events, and it's easy to write stories about those kind of things, isn't it? But sometimes there are serious dramas that impact families and communities that forever change their tone or their outlook on life. This is a book called Family Secrets, Letters to My Granddaughters, and I'm with Grace Ann Neuharth, who is the author of this book, along with Wanda Winters Gutierrez. But this is Grace's story, and it's pretty dramatic, Grace. First of all, thanks for being on the show today. I appreciate you taking the time to be with me. But I'm seeing this, tell me a little bit about this story, without giving the ending away.
Okay, the story happens when I'm 4 years old, and I lost my memory, found out 2,000 miles away from home. Don't know who I am, don't know who the people are who are with me. And so at that time, I came to a realization that, okay, God, it's you and me. I don't know who these people are around me. I have to put my trust in you. And please, God, send my mom and dad to get me, because I really want to go back home.
Did you understand at the time that there was a home to go to since there was a loss of memory, or was that part of the problem?
It seemed to be just a gut instinct that the people who I was with, even though they said, we're your mom and dad, I thought, no. Inside of me, I knew you're not my mom and dad, and I want to go home. Just a gut instinct that I had. And I lived in the house for 12 years. Came to a point where I accepted the Lord as my Savior. And then I started realizing that God cared about me. And I heard a lesson that said God can be your deliverer. So I started praying. I said, God, get me out of here. And He did. He found a way to get me out of that house. The day after I graduated from high school, left. And then I understood, after that, I came to understand why I had lost my memory. It's because I had was an eyewitness to a brutal murder. And the murder was just too much for me to handle. So,
and you were only 6 years old.
Yes, I was. And so I thought, okay, I have got to find out who I really am, because I'm not who these people say I am. So I set out on a journey to find out who I was. And I did. I received a letter in the mail from a lady. And inside she had written a short note. She says, I understand that you're trying to find out who you are, a little bit about yourself. And in there, she had sent me an original newspaper article that was 35 years old. And it had described the murder in there. And I thought, those are my nightmares I've been having. And from the article I learned, hey, I've got 6 brothers and a sister out there. So my book is a journey about self-discovery, because I had to find out on my own who I was, where I belonged. But it also is a book about God's grace, God's mercy. It does not matter what you're going through. You have to take and say, okay, I'm going to cling to God no matter what it looks like, no matter how bad things get. I'm going to cling to you. And through it all, God brought about amazing healing in my life from the years of abuse that I went through. And God can completely change, transform your life, turn everything completely around. All you have to do is say, God, I'm sticking with you, no matter what comes my way, no matter how bad things look.
What was if you can recall, you left high school, you finished high school, and you were able to leave. Did you immediately reconnect with your real family?
No, I didn't. It took me a while before I felt comfortable enough to say, okay, look, I got to face the truth no matter what it is. And sometimes the truth is hard to face. And so it took me a while to do that.
To decide to make that step, or like contact? To decide to make that step. Right.
Because it is frightening.
Sure.
You know. And so it did take me a while to do that. But
how was your family's response when you came home or came back to your real family? How was that reunion?
Well, with my brothers and sister, it was a little bit bittersweet because everybody talks about, oh, you reconnect with your family, and immediately it's, hey, your family.
Right.
But for me, they were still saying, okay, here, can I sing a song for you in German that Dad used to sing? And they'd sing it for me, and I'd say, you know what? Doesn't ring a bell. And so my relationship with them now is more like acquaintances. I mean, everybody's had a time when you've been out on the street and everybody goes, hi, how are you? And they carry on a conversation with you like they know you. And you're thinking, who are you people? Don't know who you are. And that's the way that I related to them.
How is it now that, because you have a family now of your own, because this is letters to your granddaughters.
Yes.
So you have children and grandchildren.
Yes.
How did is that relationship, do you feel like that it's affected a lot by your experience, or do you think it's strengthened by your experience?
It has been affected a little bit because it took me years to get over the things that had happened to me. But now that I'm healed, I can say it has strengthened the family.
Wow.
And I think there's a lot of lessons the kids are learning from it.
Was there anything in your book when the book came out that the family didn't know about until they read the book?
I would say not really, but my oldest daughter, when she read the book, she says, you know, Mom, now I think I understand you a lot better. I understand where you're coming from. I understand how come sometimes growing up you couldn't be as, I want to say, as loving, as open as I should have been. So now it's them like, okay, I understand you, Mom. And it has been a healing in their life. And that's why I wrote the book to my granddaughters. It's like, I've been through a lot, girls, and there's just some things that you need to know. You need to look out for. You need to realize that if I can pass any of my wisdom on to you so you're not going to make the same mistakes I did, you're not going to fall into some of the traps that I did, then I want to do that, not only for my granddaughters, but for other women out there.
So this book, if we were to recommend it, what age group would you recommend read it?
I would recommend probably at least 16.
It's a little more mature.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Because the story's so serious.
Yes, it is.
Well, I am totally inspired by your story. I really am.
Well, thank you.
The captivity that happens in people's hearts and lives, they don't realize that maybe the chains may be dropped, but sometimes the locks aren't unlocked.
That's true.
And it's a difficult trip, and I thank God that you've come through this in a wonderful way.
Well, thank you.
It's called Family Secrets, Letters to My Granddaughters by Grace Ann Neuharth. This is her story, and it's something you should get for your granddaughters, for your daughters, or read it for yourself. Not just information, but maybe a little inspiration and insight that's going to be from someone who's been there and knows. And it's a sad thing that people go through it, but I think that if we can glean the gifts of it, that it's well worth it in the long run because it brings something eternal to our lives. She's a classic example of the reason, you know, scars are only a sign of healing.
Yes.
Maybe have the scars, but you're already healed. Grace Ann's showing that. Family Secrets, we hope you'll pick it up. Thank you so much for being with me.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate that, and I know you're going to appreciate it too. Do we have a website we can get the book from? Or?
Right now you can order it off of Amazon.com, Barnes & Nobles, any of the major bookstores.
And the publishing is Tate Publishing as well. You can go to Tate Publishing and you'll be able to do that. We'll be right back after more. I thank Grace for being with me. We'll see you in just a minute on more of the Out of the Norm show, where the story's all about you.